If you enjoy the content, I would appreciate you hitting the subscribe button and checking out my socials. Cloud9, pre-roster mania, was in a awkward position. Having star and quality players within the squad, they constantly failed runs within tournaments. But despite the lack of success, Sh1ro found his own individually. Having a passive, patient style of AWP'ing, the young Russian is somehow making it work, pulling monstrous numbers in each series. Hey, I'm Smirky, and today I want to look at Sh1ro and how he AWPs on the T side of Overpass, so let's begin. Thanks to today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a trading platform where you can buy skins for the best prices. Normally on the site, you'll get a 30% deposit bonus, but when you use my code Smirky, you will get an extra 5%. And you can also use my code to activate their bonus scheme.
Nice.
Let's begin on what Sh1ro does at the start of the round. Very commonly, Sh1ro will start towards ramp. Whenever he starts towards ramp, he might have a peek towards party. By doing this, he could get a potential kill onto a CT trying to aggress. But it is worth noting in this round, it is an eco, so the typical CT stair smoke isn't there, and there is a low chance of Sh1ro dying, since there isn't an enemy AWP. However, when it is a buy round, and there is a small cup, Sh1ro will be a lot more careful. On the C9 side, you will always see one of the players throw a flashbang. This will get enemy AWPers off the angle, allowing Sh1ro to have a quick peek. But you do need to be aware of the possibility that someone may try to peek over the smoke. Once done, he's going to throw another flash and make his way into playground. And it is worth noting, at times Sh1ro may fake the flash, as if C9 wants to go B early, he can create some quick A presence before rotating. Now, during the C9 defaults, it's very typical to see them smoking off the enemy Molotov. In round 12, we can see Vitality are going to throw a Molotov, and Sh1ro will put it out. With this Molotov, it allows them to have a bit of room to peek behind it or in front of it. So in this round, you will see Sh1ro will go up against the wall, playing anti-flash, and I'm guessing he's trying to be ready just in case the CTs decide to push. So if they flash, he won't get affected. But when he feels comfortable, he will randomly peek out, hoping to catch an over-aggressive CT. In round 6, we can see something very similar. The CT's Molotov will get put out, but this time Sh1ro will be ready with a flashbang. And instead of playing anti-flash like the previous clip, this will allow him to peek out to go for an earlier fight. And I just really want to quickly show you this clip against OG, where Sh1ro makes the smoke work. Now, once Sh1ro is done flashing ramp or peeking behind or front of the smoke, he will usually go towards playground. Inside of playground, it's very common to see him just holding long, while his teammates are jump spotting or pushing forward. And this just minimizes the risk of them being caught off guard by an unexpected CT push. In round 10 against OG, we can see the exact same thing. Sh1ro is posted up on long, ready to catch any CTs. Meanwhile, Buster is spotting for information. And if you pay close attention to the minimap, you can see Sh1ro will stay posted on long, while Buster's making his way through Fountain. And this will just ensure Buster doesn't get shot from the pack. But once Buster makes his way into party, Sh1ro can leave the angle and do something else. Now, it's not really common for Sh1ro to smoke off toilets, but there are a few scenarios he does it, so I want to quickly show you the lineups he uses. If C9 needs him to smoke toilets at the start of the round, he can use this lineup. At the start of the round, go onto stairs and line yourself up here. Then put your crosshair on this pipe. Once ready, jump throw, and the smoke will land deep towards toilets. If you want to smoke toilets from playground entrance, you can use this. Line your crosshair up with the corner of this wood and in line with this leaf. When ready, left click throw. And if you want another lineup from playground, you can use this one, where you just stand opposite against a pillar, aim at the top of the tower, and left click throw. And in this round, Sh1ro will also combine the smoke with a flash that lands towards Divider. Now, I want to talk about how Sh1ro will transition from point A to point B, moving up through Fountain. In this round, C9 are stacking towards A, so Sh1ro is going to be pretty supportive. As you can see, when C9 starts moving their way up, Sh1ro will take the initial angle onto stairs, waiting for any CTs to peek. But as his squad moves up, focusing on that angle, Sh1ro will move up and look at long, protecting his teammates' backs. Once they eventually make it up through Fountain, they will go for mid control. Now, another way you can move up through Fountain is by scoping. In this round, we can see Buster is going to be in playground and he will be responsible in holding long. This will allow Sh1ro to be safe and start slowly clearing his angles in mid. As we can see, Sh1ro will slowly move up through Fountain, being aware of each different position a CT could be in. When Sh1ro wants to peek toilets, he will jump on top of Fountain to get a little off angle. Once he makes his way up through Fountain, he will help Buster with long control. And again, I've pretty much already showed this before, but you can do the complete opposite, where it's your responsibility to hold long while your teammates move up through Fountain. Now, maybe 30% of the rounds, Sh1ro will start in connector rather than ramp. So let's take a look on what he does. In round 5 against OG, we can see Sh1ro will make his way down and get ported onto this angle. Connector is a very common meeting spot for both AWPers, so there's a good chance you might be versing an AWPer if you do go for this peak. But then again, you might be able to catch an aggressive rifler. While Sh1ro's holding the angle, Sh1ro will typically have a teammate with him pushing up. In this round, we can see Inters will slowly make his way up, tucking on the left side. But I do want to quickly mention, just in terms of crosshair placement and what angle to hold, in this round you can see Sh1ro's holding connector, so Inters can't get peeked from there, and the connector door was just blown off. So if I was Inters, I would probably put my crosshair towards the door to make sure I suddenly don't get a surprise, and trust my teammate in Sh1ro to hold the angle. But while Sh1ro is still holding the angle, Inters can throw a Molotov to try and create space and try to get the CTs to fall away. But that doesn't quite happen in this round, as while Inters leaves to go to another part of the map, OG will try to regress inside of connector, and well, Sh1ro doesn't hit the shot. In round 11, we can see both Hobbit and Sh1ro will be inside of connector. But again, just like the point I made earlier about what angle to hold, there's something similar here. Sh1ro is trying to hold the door, but the fact that Hobbit is so far forward means that Hobbit could get peeked from an angle from door that Sh1ro's not aware of. So personally, I'm not a fan of the angles that C9 are trying to hold and the paths they're trying to follow, so instead you might want to do something like this instead, where as an AWPer, you're more towards the left side, ready for CTs to peek out of door, and as the rifler, you're tucking on the right, making sure you're not open to short. Against complexity, Sh1ro can't afford the AWP, but will have a rifle. But this does have a benefit. It allows him to join Hobbit in taking connector control. In this round, complexity will try to aggress connector, but Grim takes a lot of damage. So to be safe from Con, Sh1ro will throw the smoke that will deny the CT's information and vision. Once the smoke is down, C9 can take connector as normal. But having two rifles inside of connector is pretty beneficial, as both teammates can stick together, and in this round we can see Sh1ro will use his Molotov after Hobbit, really reducing the CT space. Now, moving back onto the AWP, I want to talk about scenarios where Sh1ro will leave connector and make his way into short. In this round, Sh1ro is wanting to leave door, so let's take a look on how he does it. Staying scoped in, he will first check the bridge boost, Staying scoped in, he will first check the bridge boost, potentially catching anyone jump spotting or going for the boost. He will of course hold short and stay there for a little bit, making sure he doesn't get timinged. Then as he leaves through the doorway, he checks the bridge boost again. And actually in this round, C9 are currently 2 players down, so Sh1ro wants to try and even the odds. He will do this by staying scoped in and placing his crosshair onto pillar. This is a pretty significant chunk you've cut off on that B bomb site, as now the B players can't cross between monster and pillar, and there's a good chance someone will peek into you. But if you do have a teammate inside of connector as you're trying to leave, you can stay focused on holding one angle as they clear the others. Now, I want to showcase Sh1ro's approach on taking mid control, but usually performed pretty laid back. In round 6, we can see C9 just went for long control and now going for mid. With this call being mid, we can see Sh1ro make his way towards the stairs and scope in into toilets, ready to catch any CTs lurking around that area. But in a second, Nafany will call his players to head over to B, so Sh1ro will force the CTs away by throwing this Molotov. Any CTs playing close in toilets are forced to fall away, reducing the information they can have on what's going on in A, hopefully buying them time to rotate to B and execute. And again we can see something similar, but in this time Sh1ro's going to come out from party, stay scoped in and just keep an eye on toilets. But soon later, he's going to throw a supportive flash for inters, which will allow him to peek behind divider and clear the area. Alternatively, you can just watch an angle while your teammates clear the others. In round 5, we can see Sh1ro is going to be heading with his squad, keeping an eye on long, and then later transitioning onto divider. By holding divider, it allows Nafany and his squad to move past connector and get the kill, not having to worry about being peeked from divider. But soon later, he will support his teammates by flashing them into divider. Lastly, some basic standard util you probably know, but I thought to show it anyway, is just a normal smoke and molly for toilets. We can see Sh1ro will clear the angle. Once he feels comfortable, he will smoke off toilet's entrance and Molotov divider, denying the CT's information. Now lastly, I want to look at C9 and Sh1ro's approach on how to take long control. Maybe roughly 45% of the rounds where they're defaulting A, C9 will go for long control. Whenever C9 goes for long control initially, they will always throw 2 flashbangs. There will always be one deep and always be one shallow. The roles for whoever are throwing these flashbangs don't really matter as long as it's done. So in this round we can see Sh1ro is going to be throwing a very shallow flash since it's pretty close to long. Meanwhile Buster's flashbang will line pretty deep. They're going to throw their flashbangs and Buster will peek out long while Sh1ro takes a peek at mid. In round 8 we can see they'll do the exact same thing, but this time Sh1ro is going to be throwing the deep flash and Buster's will be close. It is worth noting though, Sh1ro may fake these flashbangs to bait the CTs in thinking they're taking long control. So in round 14 we can see Sh1ro's holding long, then he will just throw a flashbang and rotate away. However, Vitality are on long, and since no one swung out with a flash, they probably know it's a fake. Or we look at it against OG. Again, Sh1ro is holding, he's going to throw a flashbang and rotate away. And because no one's on long, OG don't have that information if they are pushing, so it's an unknown and a potential risk. Once C9 are in long, they're going to start making their way up. And the way that C9 makes their way up long is quite specific. Sh1ro will always be holding deep long, as his teammates will scale up long, sticking to the right wall. We can see Buster is going to make his way up, slowly clear towards toilets where he gets the entry. And again, against Vitality we can see the exact same thing, but unfortunately Sh1ro is going to get flashed and well, you can't win them all. Now the last thing I want to show you for long control is round 8. I didn't really see C9 do this much, but I like the idea and you can also do it for your team. In round 8, we can see Sh1ro is going to be looking towards deep long as his teammates are scaling up. But once they are ready to peek deep long, Sh1ro will set them up with a flashbang, landing very high up, allowing him to clear the corner. Once Sh1ro throws the flash, he will make his way over and put his crosshair on top of that. Now the reason why he's doing this is because it's super common to see CTs to be jump spotting this area, or to be boosting. So it's probable you're going to see a CT and it's up to you to hit the shot. But soon after, he's going to move out and place himself into this angle, making sure he's not visible to the jump spot, but visible to any CTs coming in or peeking out of bank. And when C9 wants to execute, he can just support them by throwing flashbangs. When watching Sh1ro's POV, I've noticed he's slow. Sh1ro is very slow and calm with the AWP. He will work through his APCs with great detail, not rushing anything for the sake of map control or kills. He's protective. Throughout his gameplay, we saw him constantly hold his teammates' backs, or holding a specific angle while his teammates are clearing. And lastly, he's safe. He's not pushing into an area aggressively or going for a crazy pick. He will just play his position and work with his team. But personally, I would like to see a bit more spice in some of the early rounds, maybe 1 or 2 rounds, trying to attempt to go for an early impact kill. You have no idea how to play anti-ecos on T-side nuke. Check out this video I did, where I showcase Navi's philosophy on how they approach anti-ecos. That video can be found in the description. Apart from that, thanks for watching, cheers Skins Monkey for the sponsor, and see ya in a bit.